The Houston community was left in shock after the discovery of 21-year-old Muna Pandey's lifeless body in her apartment. A college student at Houston Community College, Muna had moved to the United States from Nepal to pursue a nursing degree and build a better future. However, her promising life was cut short in a horrifying act of violence. The grim discovery has left her friends, family, and the larger community heartbroken as they seek justice for her murder. Welcome to True Crime Series, where we delve deep into the most chilling, mysterious, and captivating real-life crime stories from around the world. Each episode takes you step by step through complex investigations, unsolved disappearances, and shocking criminal cases that have left lasting impacts on the communities involved. From infamous serial killers to mysterious cold cases, we uncover the truth behind these haunting stories, leaving no detail unexplored. Subscribe and join us as we uncover the darkest corners of true crime, one case at a time. Let's continue. Muna's body was found in her apartment on August 24, 2024. The details surrounding the crime are disturbing. Muna was found shot multiple times with an execution-style wound to the back of her head, suggesting a personal and violent motive behind the attack. The investigation, led by the Houston Police Department (HEPD), revealed key information that led to the arrest of a suspect, 51-year-old Bobby Singh Shaw. On that fateful day, the staff at Muna's apartment complex received an anonymous call reporting a dead body in a specific unit. The caller did not provide any identifying information and hung up abruptly after delivering the message. When apartment staff went to check, they discovered Muna lying in her bedroom. Her body was on the bed, positioned on her left side with multiple gunshot wounds to the torso. The most telling and heartbreaking detail was the single gunshot wound to the back of her head, which investigators later described as execution style. The scene was chilling, and police immediately launched a homicide investigation. The investigation revealed no signs of forced entry into Muna's apartment, leading detectives to believe that Muna may have known her killer. Her door had been left unlocked, which was out of character for someone who lived alone and had previously taken precautions to protect herself from a stalker. According to court documents, investigators began speaking with Muna's friends, who provided crucial details about her recent life. Muna's friends described her as a kind and hardworking student who was focused on her education, but they also revealed that she had been dealing with a stalker about a year before her murder. This stalker had made her feel unsafe enough to install a motion-activated security camera outside her front door. The camera was meant to provide peace of mind, and according to her friends, after it was installed, the stalker seemed to disappear, and Muna believed she was no longer in immediate danger. Unfortunately, that camera would later capture the moments leading up to Muna's tragic death. The security camera Muna installed outside her apartment captured Bobby Singh Shaw approaching her door just hours before her body was discovered. The footage showed a chilling interaction. Shaw, a man Muna likely knew, was seen pushing his way into her apartment while holding a gun. At one point, Muna, carrying a Nike shoebox, a shopping bag, a black jacket, and her purse, is seen at the door. Shaw, dressed in a blue shirt and khaki pants, repeatedly orders her to open the door while brandishing a black pistol in his right hand. Muna, visibly frightened, asks him, "What are you going to do?" to which Shaw responds by racking the slide of his gun, repeating his demand for her to open the door. The moment she complies, he forces his way inside and locks the door behind them. The time stamp on the footage shows this occurred at 8:40 p.m. Roughly an hour later, at 9:48 p.m., the camera captures Shaw leaving Muna's apartment. This time he is carrying her black purse, the same one she was seen holding before entering the apartment. Witnesses in the complex reported hearing loud thumping noises around the time of the attack, likely the gunshots that claimed her life. As the news of Muna's death spread, the Houston Police Department released still images from the surveillance footage in hopes of identifying the suspect. The footage provided a clear view of Shaw's face, and within hours of its release, police received several tips identifying him. One tip came from a man who recognized Shaw as a regular customer at his restaurant. The man mentioned that he had even considered going into business with Shaw at one point. Another call came from a woman who recognized Shaw from a decade earlier. She had met him through a sugar daddy website in 2012, and she immediately identified him as the man in the surveillance footage. These tips were invaluable, allowing the police to swiftly identify Shaw and track him down. Within hours of his identification, Shaw was arrested during a routine traffic stop. At the time of his arrest, Shaw was found with a firearm which investigators believed to be the murder weapon. He was immediately charged with capital murder, and the judge denied him bond, ensuring that he would remain in custody as the investigation progressed. While the surveillance footage and witness tips were crucial in capturing Shaw, the question of motive remains. Muna's friends and family were at a loss as to why she was targeted. Although she had mentioned a stalker in the past, there was no concrete evidence linking Shaw to that threat. Court documents did not reveal how Shaw and Muna knew each other or why he may have been at her apartment that night. Houston detectives are continuing to investigate the case, focusing on piecing together the relationship between Muna and Shaw. One theory investigators are exploring is the possibility that Shaw had been the stalker from a year earlier, the same one who had prompted Muna to install the security camera. However, this remains speculative as of now. Police are also exploring the possibility that Shaw and Muna had met through a sugar daddy website, as one witness suggested. However, no direct evidence has been found linking Muna to any such site, and detectives are careful not to jump to conclusions without further proof. The absence of Muna's cell phone from her apartment has raised additional concerns. Investigators believe Shaw may have taken her phone to conceal evidence that could connect him to the crime. As such, the search for her phone and any other electronic devices that could provide clues is ongoing. The forensic investigation of Muna's apartment is still in progress. Detectives are scouring the scene for DNA evidence, fingerprints, and other forensic traces that could definitively link Shaw to the crime. They are also conducting ballistic tests on the firearm recovered from Shaw's vehicle to determine if it matches the bullets found at the scene. Additionally, detectives have obtained search warrants to review Shaw's phone records, as well as any computer or digital data that could shed light on his connection to Muna. Muna's friends and family, meanwhile, have started a GoFundMe campaign to raise money to bring her mother to the United States for the funeral. Muna was an only child, and her family is devastated by her death. Her mother, who lives in Nepal, has been struggling to obtain a visa to come to the U.S. to bury her daughter. The GoFundMe has garnered significant support from the local community, with many people moved by Muna's tragic story. As Bobby Singh Shaw awaits trial, the legal process is unfolding. Prosecutors are working closely with the detectives to build a solid case against Shaw, focusing on both the physical evidence from the crime scene and the digital trail that might establish his motive and premeditation. The goal is to present a compelling case that will lead to a conviction for capital murder, a charge that could carry the death penalty in Texas. Shaw, who has no prior criminal record, has not made any public statements since his arrest. His defense team will likely argue that the case is circumstantial, as there is no direct confession linking him to the crime. However, the surveillance footage, witness identifications, and forensic evidence may prove to be damning as the trial progresses. The murder of Muna Pandey has left an indelible mark on the Houston community. Her tragic death serves as a stark reminder of the dangers that young women, especially those far from home, can face. As her friends and family mourn her loss, they also hope for justice and closure. In the coming months, the trial of Bobby Singh Shaw will play out in the Harris County courts. For Muna's loved ones, it will be a difficult journey, filled with painful reminders of what they have lost. But as the investigation continues and more evidence comes to light, there is hope that the truth will emerge and justice will be served. As detectives continue their work, the community remains focused on honoring Muna's memory, ensuring that her story is not forgotten. Her life was full of promise, and though it was cut short in a brutal and senseless act of violence, her spirit lives on in the hearts of those who knew and loved her. In time, they hope to see justice done, not only for Muna but for all victims of violence who deserve peace and closure.